Hi students. Now today we are going to continue our discussion on the stock exchange. If you remember, yesterday we learnt about the meaning of the stock exchange, which said that according to Securities Contracts Act 1956, stock exchange means any body of individual, whether incorporated or not, constituted for the purpose of, I said, the three words are very important. That is assisting, regulating and controlling. These words need to be remembered. Assisting, regulating and controlling. And yesterday I have given you the meaning of this assisting, regulating and controlling. So if you still have any confusion, you go back and look at the meaning of these three words, that is assisting, regulating and controlling. So today what we will be doing is we will be going into the depth of the stock exchange, which is a synonym for the secondary market. Okay, so starting with, first let us know what are the functions of stock exchange. Now remember, stock exchange being a financial market, the functions of stock exchange are also like functions of financial market. So you may find that two or three functions resemble to the functions of financial market. It is all because stock exchange is also a financial market. Okay, so starting with the first one is it provides liquidity and marketability for existing securities. Now here you need to understand the liquidity and marketability. Liquidity and marketability for existing securities. Now if I want to tell you in simple what does this mean, if you want to purchase, it provides you a market where you can buy, and if you want to sell, it will help you to convert your securities into securities into cash. That means, in simple, if I tell you, it helps you to convert your cash into securities as well as securities into cash. Okay, that is what we call as liquidity and marketability of existing securities. That means it is not going to deal with the fresh securities. I have already told you yesterday that it is a second-hand securities market. Okay, so then the next one is pricing of securities. This we discussed in financial market also, as this being a market where buyers and sellers meet, or we can say a price mechanism is there where the demand and supply meet and the price is discovered. So with the market mechanism of demand and supply, even stock exchanges will help us to price the securities. Now in simple, I will tell you how this helps helps to price the securities. For example, today Infosys earned a profit. It announces that it has earned a profit of 2,000 crore for the quarterly profit of 2,000 crore rupees. Then everyone in the market will be surprised to see the higher amount of profit what the Infosys has earned, and everyone will be eager to invest in the Infosys company. At that time what happens, and those who are already holding the Infosys shares will not be ready to sell because it is performing well. At that time what happens, the demand for Infosys share has increased, but the one who are holding them are not ready to sell. That means the supply is less. In that case, the price of the securities goes up. Clear with this point? The price of the securities goes up. Or now we will take reverse of this. What will happen? See, the Kingfisher, or you can call it as United Breweries. Kingfisher is a brand. Try to understand. Kingfisher is a brand, but it's from the company United Breweries. After having huge amount of loss, the prices of the securities went down. Why? The reason was, after all these bank loan, non-payment of bank loan and all, the goodwill of the company has come down, and the one who were holding the shares of United Breweries were trying to sell them as early as possible, but no one was ready to buy. So at that time, there was a increase in the supply, but there was no demand, or you can say the demand was very less. At that time, the price of the securities come down. So this is how it helps in pricing the securities. Okay. Now, number 3. The number 3 is safety of transaction. Safety of transactions. Now, do you ever think whether to keep money in the bank or not, whether it is safe or not? We don't think, because bank is not only just physically it is strong, it is also strong legally. How? The bank is run by set of rules. There is a code of conduct which makes us to have a faith on bank. In the same way, the stock exchange is also safeguarded by acts, rules and principles. So which makes us to have faith, and we know that our transactions are safe. Okay, because it ensures the safety of transactions. Especially the SEBI has played a vital role in this. The next one is contributing to economic growth. This I told yesterday also, that now contributing to economic growth. Now, what is this contributing to economic growth? Now, under this, what happens is, it allows a facility called as disinvestment and reinvestment. What is mean by disinvestment and reinvestment? I will tell you. If UB Groups, as I given in the example, was not performing well, but Infosys was performing very well, stock exchange gives you an option where you can sell the shares of UB Groups. That means you are disinvesting in that, and you can use that funds to reinvest in the Infosys. So that makes you to channelize your savings into the most profitable venture. By that, the economy will also grow, because you are investing in a most profitable venture. Next, spreading equity cult. The next one is 5th one, that is spreading equity cult. Now, what is spreading equity cult? You need to understand. The stock exchanges are trying to increase the ownership. They are more working on owner funds, because you know that the one who owns equity shares are called as the owners of the company. Right? Then, when this equity cult, that means equity cult means everyone want to be owners of the company. Right? Everywhere, there is no scope for debt funds. Everyone want to be the equity shareholders. So they are trying to create such an environment. How that is possible? By ensuring the safety of transaction. payment of dividend at right times. Okay, providing the true information to the shareholders. This equity cult can be established and stock exchanges are working over the same. Okay, so then next is number 6. The last one, that is providing scope for speculation. Now, you know that the stock exchange business is a speculation business. What is speculation? Buying at a lower price and selling at higher price. We call it a speculation business. But remember, it allows a speculation to a limit. It has a limit. It will never allow to cross that limit. So that is one of the best features of stock exchange. That is, it allows speculation, but up to a certain limit. Okay, so hope you have understood. Let me explain once again all the functions. The first one is liquidity. It provides liquidity and marketability of existing securities. What is meant by that? It allows you to convert your cash into shares. That means you can buy shares at any time, and it will also allow you to convert your financial assets or securities into cash. That means you can sell at any time. Okay, then it allows you to it also helps you to price the securities with the price mechanism, that is with the help of demand and supply. Then it ensures the safety of transaction because it is safeguarded by principles, rules and acts. Then it contributes to the economic growth because I said that it helps you to disinvest and reinvest. That means disinvestment from a non-performing or the low-performing investment to a well-performing investment. Then by safeguarding the interest of the equity shareholders, then ensuring the proper payment of dividends and all, they are trying to spread the equity cult in the country, right? And then it allows you to speculate, but within a limit. Okay, so then next is after this, the next thing we need to discuss is trading and settlement procedure. Trading and settlement. This is very important topic to be discussed. Trading and settlement procedure. I just want you to take you to the previous days when the share market was running like an auction, like as you are seeing in a sabzi mandi, that means a vegetable market, wholesale vegetable market, how the vegetables are sold at auction. Even in the share market, the shares were sold on auction. But now that system has been completely removed. Now we have online trading system, that is nothing but screen-based trading system. Okay, so now we are going to study what is this online trading system. Okay, so first, this online trading system has given us some advantages. Now let us look at those advantages. Okay, so the first one is it helps you to ensure the transparency. Remember, when everything is computerized. Now I will tell you a small example. When earlier exams were conducted in the paper pencil mode by the recruitment of government recruitments, we were having questions like whether they are transparent or not. But now when they are conducting through computer mode, especially the bank examinations, we don't have any question over the integrity of that examination. So being computerized, the transparency has increased because you can view the prices of the shares at any time. If you on any channel between 10 to 3:30 p.m., you will be able to see the share prices in all the news channels. Okay, and even they are displayed outside the share market also. The next is as it is being computerized, it increases the efficiency also, because the time required to process the transaction is very less, and the cost is also very less, and the cost of getting information is also very less. Even I was mentioning about it in the previous class, that you can get the balance sheet, profit and loss account of all the companies in any website which are related to stock market or who are dealing with stock market. I have given you example of Money Control, or you can go to Karvy, Anand Rathi. You will get all these information readily available, and even you can get it on the SEBI website also. Then next is, it also facilitates one more thing. Now earlier what used to happen is only few people were able to access to the stock market, because it was only there at few places, especially in capital cities. But now being online, the entire world can participate in the Indian stock market. So that is one of the benefit provided by screen-based trading system. And the last one is, earlier there were different trading centers. Now all have been eliminated and they have brought under one platform, that is online trading system. Okay, so these are some few things you need to know about online trading system. Okay, and these are the benefits also which it has provided. Now next comes, it's a very interesting point which I like to spend a lot of time on this today. That is how you can trade in the stock exchange. That means how trading will be done. Okay, so first, starting with the trading procedure on a stock exchange. Okay, first, assume that I like to invest in stock market, but I don't have any idea. So first, what should I do? First, I should visit a broker. Whom I should visit? I should visit a broker. The broker can be, I will tell you, well-known brokers who are there in the country. Anand Rathi is a well-known broker. Karvy was also a well-known broker, but recently some wrong things happened with him. I will let you know on some other day what wrong things happened. So now Karvy is not under the list. And there is a Sher Khan, right? Even nowadays, all the banks are also providing this facility. So you need to go to a broker, right? And once you go to a broker, you need to ask him, right? Or you need to ask him to open an account with him, right? But first what he does is, he will ask you to enter into an agreement. That is called as broker client agreement, and you need to sign that agreement. Okay, but while signing that agreement or while submitting that to sign that agreement, you need to provide some details which include, or which are like, to open a bank account, what all details you give, you need to provide the same details, like you will be giving your Aadhaar number, PAN number, right, your address proof, your age proof, all the details should be given, and even your bank details also should be given to him. The next, the second is, you will be opening a demat account. So first you will be approaching a broker. Okay, then the second, what you will be doing, you will be entering into a broker and client agreement, and once you enter that agreement, you will be opening a demat account. Later on I will tell you what is this demat, dematerialization. Okay, demat account. Okay, so Demat account should be opened with the, remember, depository. Should be opened with a depository, and that depository can be a NSDL or CSDL. These are the two depositories which are available in India, that is NSDL and CDSL. That is CDSL. It is CDSL. It is National Security Depository Limited, and this is Central Depository for Securities Limited. Okay, so NSDL and CDSL. So these depositories, what are these depositories? They help you to save your shares in electronic form or securities in electronic. I will not quote only shares. It will help you to save your securities in electronic form. Okay, done. So this is Central Depository Services Limited. Next is this is after this. After once you open the Demat account, the next step is to order. Now order can be for purchase or sale. Remember, you can order for purchase or you can order for sale. Both the options are available, because if you are already having securities, you can order for sale. But when you are doing it for the first time, you will be ordering for the purchase only, because you don't have any balance in your Demat account. Clear that? Once you order for the purchase or sale, remember that purchase or sale order can be given over a phone, email, but you need to clearly mention what company securities, in what volume, at what price you need to purchase. That should be clearly mentioned. Clear with this point? Then next is, after doing this, he will issue a confirmation slip. That means whether that has to be signed. The reason is, later on he should not say that, oh, this was not my specification. So it is better to issue a confirmation slip. Then next is, after this, the broker will connect to the stock exchange and look at whether the said securities are available for sale, and if available for sale, whether they are available at the price which was mentioned. So if it is available, then comes the next one. So the fifth step is checking for the securities and its prices. And then once it is confirmed that it is available at the said price, then the next is either buy or sell. You need to either buy or sell. If you want to buy, if you have ordered for buying, then he will buy, or if you have ordered for sale, then he will sell. So this is, once again I will tell you, first you need to go to a broker, enter into a broker and client agreement. Then you need to open the Demat account with the depository. With the help of a broker only you will be opening it. Okay. What is Demat account? It is a depository, right? It is to be opened with a depository. Either it will be NSDL or CDSL. It will help you, remember, it will help you to save your shares or securities in electronic form. And once it is done, you need to order for purchase or sale. And then the broker will connect to the stock exchange and will check with the availability of the securities at the mentioned price. And if they are available, then he will place the order, or he will execute that order, not place. Placing happens here only, right? He will execute the order. Okay. And once he executes the order, he will issue a slip that is called as transaction confirmation slip. Remember, transaction confirmation slip. So transaction confirmation slip will be issued. Okay. Then in the next 24 hours after this, right, he will issue a contract note. Remember, he will issue a contract note. What is contract note? It is a document which contains how many shares of which company at what price you have purchased. Every detail will be mentioned here. That is called as a contract note. Clear with this point? And once this contract note is issued, the next is, remember, here what investor does is, he simply tells that you purchase or sell. Remember, nothing has given to him, nor the cash nor the securities. Because if you want to buy, you need to give cash. If you want to sell, you need to give securities, because what securities you are selling, that has to be delivered. But nothing has been done in the first. Only till this, everything has happened without cash or without securities. So, in the seventh step, the exchange or the delivery of security or payment of cash will be there. Remember, the delivery of securities or payment of cash will be there. Okay. Now, the same thing happens from both the sides, right? It is not with the one side, it happens with both the sides. For example, if I am buying securities from you, I will be paying cash to the broker and you will be paying your securities to the broker. You will be delivering your securities to the broker. Okay, it happens from both the ends, not from single end. I am explaining it from single end, but it happens at both the ends. Okay, so now security or cash. Okay, and these security and cash, see, now you will come to know why it is called a stock exchange. It's a wonderful concept, I will tell you. This security or cash will be deposited in the stock exchange, on a day called as pay-in day. On a day called as pay-in day. This is called as pay-in day because both will be deposited or paid on the same day. Remember, now, see this, ये जो आपका stock exchange है, now, the stock exchange, now, there will be a buyer and there will be a seller, okay? So the buyer will deposit cash and the seller will deliver his securities. Where? In the stock exchange. In the stock exchange. Now, on the payout day, what stock exchange will do is it exchanges and pay the cash to the seller and deliver the shares to the buyer. So this institution has made them to exchange what? Cash for securities. Remember, cash for securities. Mr. Buyer has given cash to the seller and seller has delivered his securities. So that's why it is called a stock exchange. Okay, and then once, because later on, broker, see, remember, these all are done by the brokers of the buyer and seller. Remember, because if you remember, in the what we have done in the sixth step, you need to be very clear. In the seventh step, what we did is we have given our securities or cash to the broker. In turn, broker has deposited them in the stock exchange, and then stock exchanges will be delivering the shares to the brokers as well as paying the cash to the broker. And then once the broker receives the cash, within 24 hours, he should deposit that, or he should pay that to the seller. Remember, the one who has sold should get within 24 hours, because brokers should not perform any irregularity. So because of that, it has made clearly, it made a rule that within 24 hours it should reach. And then what this buyer will get? Buyer will get delivered his share directly into the demat account. No need to make physical delivery, because everything is here in electronic form, and that delivery will be made directly to his account. And even while paying cash also, there is an option that it can be directly credited to his bank account, which is given in the detail. Because you know that I said while opening this, while making this broker client agreement, you need to provide the details of your bank account also. Clear with this point? Now, after this, next, dematerialization. Now, just let me give you a detail of dematerialization. What is dematerialization? Remember, earlier there was a concept of share certificate. That means the one who owns a share will be issued a share certificate saying that, oh, you are a shareholder of our company. Still, in India, like small business houses and all are carrying out the same practice. That is, they issue share certificate whenever you invest. Okay, even small finance and all are also doing the same. Okay, so now what we are speaking is about an era, now that does not exist, where the shares were to be preserved physically in the form of certificate. But the problem with that certificate was there was a risk of losing that, the risk of getting damaged. But now all the shares are being preserved in the form of in the electronic form, and now that provides safety, as well as there is no risk of losing or getting damaged. So that was all about dematerialization. Okay, then now the question arises how the demat system works, or this dematerialized electronic how the demat system works. What is demat system? Preserving the shares in electronic forms, or saving the shares in electronic form. How it works, right? So now, if you go through the previous procedure, it is an example how it works. That means it gets directly credited whenever you buy shares. Like that, there are few things which you need to be aware, right? Who is a depository participant? He can be a stockbroker, or he can be any financial institution or a bank. Okay, then you need to have a PAN number in order to open this demat account. Okay, and if you already have some physical certificates, you need to submit them to the depository. He will convert that into electronic form. Okay, and if you have applied for any new issue of shares, you need to just mention your demat account. If they allot shares, they directly get credited to your account. Okay, that means in the account, in the application, share application form, you need to mention your demat account. Whereas if you are selling the shares, right, then you need to instruct your depository to debit your account, and as per your instruction, he will debit, and the collected cash will be deposited to your account. Okay, and all these transactions should be finished within T+2 days. That means the day on which transaction takes place plus 2 days. For example, if you have effected any transaction on Monday, the settlement should get completed in +2 days. That means Wednesday is the last day to complete the transaction. Okay, so that next is we discussed about two depository services, that is NSDL and CDSL. These are the two depository services which are there in India, which provides depository services. You can register through any of them. Okay, then next, coming to National Stock Exchange of India. So this is, there need to be a very short note on all these, that is NSE, BSE, and there was one more concept now that is not there in the textbook, that is OTCEI. Okay, so we'll discuss at the end of this chapter, that is all these three. So, but before that, let us go to a very relevant topic, that is SEBI, Security Exchange Board of India. Security Exchange Board of India. Remember, this was established in 1988, but given a legal status in 1992. That means it started working from the year 1992. This is an organization which helps to regulate or which regulates the stock market. Nowadays, whatever faith you are having or we are having on the stock market, SEBI has a vital role in restoring the faith in stock market, especially this after the scam 1992. Okay, now let us understand let us understand what is SEBI. Okay, so SEBI is Security Exchange Board of India, as I have already told you, right? Then what was the object? Remember, it is a body to promote orderly and healthy growth of security market and for investor protection. This is very important, investors protection, right? SEBI has worked a lot on protecting the interest of investors. Okay, then remember, it was to function under the overall administrative control of Ministry Finance of Government of India. The SEBI was given statutory status. That means now it is independent. Okay, and they have the legal status on 30th January 1992 through an ordinance passed. The ordinance was later replaced by an act in the Parliament known as SEBI Act 1992. Remember, SEBI Act 1992. Okay, now the SEBI Act 1992. Now, why the reason for the SEBI was there were many irregularities which were not being properly diagnosed by the earlier authorities. So they felt that there need to be a statutory body which will be taking care of the operations of stock exchange. And there was a time where people were losing faith on the stock market. So at that time, they felt that this kind of a body is needed and they brought it into existence. Okay. Then there were many irregularities with like black marketing was there. There was one more term which that was insider trading, right? All these insider trading, like there were other irregularities, and there were companies which were failing to make the which were failing to make the payment of dividend. So there were many things which were happening. Because of that, people were losing confidence over the share market or stock market. So at that time, this institution was given legal status, and now we are seeing that there are many who have a good amount of trust on share market, and SEBI is playing a vital role. Recently, if you remember, in the case of Subrata Roy, right, SEBI interfered, and now that person is under imprisonment for the irregularities he performed in his as a director of a company. Okay, so now the next is, what are the objectives of the SEBI? See, remember, the objectives of the SEBI is to regulate the stock exchange and the security industry to promote their orderly functioning. So simple, it is to regulate the business of the stock exchange. Okay, then to protect the rights of the investors, and the next is to prevent the trading malpractices and achieve a balance between self-regulation by securities industry and its statutory regulation. Simple, you need to understand, to reduce or to remove the malpractices which are being carried, and to regulate and develop a code of conduct, because that is very important. Time to time the SEBI is coming up with new code of conduct in order to ensure that the stock market functions properly and there is a transparency. There is a transparency. Okay, so now let us come to functions of SEBI. Functions of SEBI. Okay, this functions of SEBI we will discuss in the next class, and after this functions of SEBI we will also be discussing what is NSE, what is BSE, that also we will cover. Okay, so thank you very much.